Good morning. It is Monday, May 9th. Is that correct? It is May 9th, which makes it 90 days out from Sunday, August 7th. First and foremost, there's going to be a little bit of a room change today. For people that have been coming to Portsmouth for Ignite, we're going to be in the Shack Tank today, or the Agent Lounge, because we couldn't name it the ALC Lounge. That's a book for another day. So the Agent Lounge, which is the Shark Tank, the corner glass conference room, that's where we'll be for Ignite. What's that?
Put your SPF on and join us.
Well, it's a fool's errand, but or should I say it's an exercise in futility. I walk in and I shut off the overhead lights, which makes no difference whatsoever, but it's cathartic to me because if you haven't figured out, all I have on right now is my desk light and this light because I came in and I'm like, I'm about to leave the room anyway. I hate overhead lighting. Which, by the way, you get Zoe all to herself tomorrow because I will be throwing myself.
Speaking of overhead lighting.
Speaking of overhead lighting, I will be in a very municipal place tomorrow because I have to go with speed racer Aiden Charles Lindsay to court to battle his second ticket, in which we were talking yesterday driving down to Chelmsdale to see Shirley, my mom, for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Zoe.
Thank you.
Actually, it still says Jason Westcott. We're going to fix that right now.
Oh, yes. Well, happy Mother's Day to Jason also.
That was last week. Anyway. What are these people doing? We don't know. We're really not sure. Does it say your name now? I think it does.
Yes, It does.
Perfect. I apologize. We're talking.
I didn't notice.
We should have just left it. Be like, I mean, I know that Westcott's losing weight, but he's really shined up. He looks great.
Really well this weekend.
Grew his hair out. So we're driving down to beautiful downtown Chelmsdale, and he's thinking it's going to go the way the last one did, where we had like the small little thing where we met with the lawyer to reduce the ticket price, and then we went and threw ourselves on the court to hopefully not lose his license, which he still did. First offense in New Hampshire, within a year, you lose your license for 20 days. I said, I think tomorrow, buddy, at midnight, tomorrow night, you're going to, you will have paid your fine. I will have paid his fine. And I think you're going to lose your license for 45 days. That's my guess. Second offense. He's like, oh, that's not good. I'm like, it's not good.
Yeah, it's not great.
And as your father, since it's your second offense, I'm no longer fighting for you to keep your license. I want you to lose your license.
Yeah.
Because like any parent knows, when you bring your child to go play a sport, and like after the game on the way home, you're like, hey, well, if you would just keep that wrist flat, right? He'll be like, Dad, you're not my coach. The children, this just in, if you have short people and you haven't gotten there yet, the children do not want to hear from us. They do not want to hear from you. They will listen to any other adult. So I'm going to let my son, whom I adore, listen to the judge tomorrow while he slaps him with probably 45 days.
You could also just like ask the lady at the Dunkin' Donuts drive-through to tell him.
Slow down.
Just slow down. Kid.
So Alice has her good friend Jeff Stellman is in-house today. That is at 10 o'clock. That is in the training room in Portsmouth. And that is only in the training room in Portsmouth. That is a live in-person event. We do not record and broadcast contractual conversations. So we are not going to be recording that or broadcasting that out. That's just in-house with attorney Jeff Stellman. So join Alice for that with him, 10 o'clock in Portsmouth. That is today. So Zoe and I and the crew from Ignite will be in the Shark Tank today from 9 to 11 for growing your database. So the question is, well, I've got my database, Tim. I don't need to grow it. We always need to grow it. We talk about it all the time. If you're underwhelmed by the amount of people in your database, or if you think that's your database, said with love, it's not.
Yeah.
This is the talking machine.
Yeah.
And here's something that we were just talking about in the last couple of days as a group here. If you guys think about when you're dealing with your clients, when you're helping your clients, serving your clients, that's the same relationship that the staff here has with you guys. We view you guys as our clients, and we're always trying to improve. I know it doesn't always feel that way. Trust me, we're always trying to improve, and our intention is to be better for you every day. And what's fascinating, and this is a nationwide thing, coming out of COVID, and we have these conversations all the time. Zoe and I hear this from coaches all over the country. Yeah, we just we struggled with attendance before COVID. Then during COVID, there was a little bit of a spike because Zoom created this connectivity that people were just happy to have, and then people got zoomed out. Term I can't stand, but it's there. And now that we're back to the point where the numbers, I won't say the numbers are great because they're spiking a little bit here and there. We're in endemic stage. This is here to stay. It's going to be something we're dealing with on a regular basis. So do what you need to do to stay safe and feel comfortable in the environment. I'm going to just throw this out there because it's a term I've always used. We're back to a point where we're in the room licking each other's face, right? If we're that close, we're rubbing elbows, we're hanging out, we're talking to each other, maybe not sharing drinks, but we're high-fiving, all the things that we haven't been doing for a long time. If we're there, wouldn't you think the numbers would come back? Well, there's a few different things that are coming into play here. And first and foremost is, I think, number one, when we talk about marketing versus prospecting, and marketing being passive, marketing typically, Zoe, being written or digitally delivered, as opposed to pick up the phone, use your voice. And when we hear from people, oh, I would have gone to that class, I didn't hear about it. And I'll take Zoe down with me on this one because we're guilty of this. And coaches and staff members across the country at KW are guilty of this. We do the polite eye roll because what we think or what we feel is, and we sent out all this notification, and there it is. What did the agent say? I didn't hear about it. How do we feel? Well, you must have, because we sent you a bunch of stuff to read. The end user having documentation to read, the next text to read, the next email to read isn't enough, and we're taking that loss. And I apologize to you if you don't feel connected because we're not calling you and telling you enough. So we are going to do our best to make sure we are verbalizing this more. That's the purpose of this. We want this to be a conversation that everybody at the Market Center is in. But when we hear from our agents, I didn't hear about that, and we're thinking, well, you could have read it in 15 different places. That's not hearing, that's reading. So communication is massive. And now I want you to take that conversation and move it to your clients. So the civilians that you want to practice real estate with, if they didn't know that you were in real estate, it's because you never invited them. And the written invitation just isn't enough. And we know that as coaches, and we know that as people that run an educational calendar for 730 agents. And when we have, before COVID, during COVID, after COVID, when we have underwhelming numbers joining us, we know that's our fault. We could do a better job inviting you to the party. And it's not a party, it's Ignite. But raise your hand if you would like more people in your database. Everyone would. Raise your hand if you would like more money in the bank. Everyone would. And raise your hand if you have too many listings. Gotcha. Nobody does. Nobody does. Nobody has too many listings. So join us for that class. That's Grow Your Database. That is Ignite Session 6, and that's going on today in the Shark Tank and at timsoffice.com starting at 9. Of course, Dr. Stellman is hanging out with Dr. Kabaki. That's at 10 o'clock in the Portsmouth Training Room from Massachusetts. And then Ask the Brokers. You've got a chance to hang out with Jason and JV at 1 o'clock in beautiful downtown kellertv.com for questions, comments, concerns. I think that covers the calendar for the most part, Zoe.
We also have the growth call.
A couple of tangents too.
Growth call this afternoon. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So 2 p.m. resources to connect with your sphere and your people. They give you scripts, they give you posts, they give you words. It's really a no-brainer, and people do have a ton of success with it. And it's nice. It's a quick one. I like how pithy the All Associates growth call is every Monday. It's like short and sweet, get you on your way. Yeah,
you're gonna hang out. Brooke Silver's gonna hang out. You're gonna have Jen Bovey hanging out. They typically will interview somebody from the region about what they're doing and how they're doing it and how it's working for them. And then the second half of the call is going to be the content. And to Zoe's point, if you're like, well, I'm not really posting because I don't know what to post, guess what? We fixed that for you. All you have to do is go on this call, and there's also going to be the collateral gets sent out to people that are signed up for the call after the fact as well. And you're going to have ultimately the slide you need to post, the words you should post with the slide. And this is from Nathan Dickey, marketing expert. I'm joking. He's not. He hires people who are. Nathan Dickey would tell you, just don't screw with it. Cut and paste. I mean, obviously, if it says, Dear Barbara loves Steve, and you're not Steve and you don't know a Barbara, you got to change the names. But for the most part, like, oh, it doesn't sound like me. It also wouldn't have sounded like you if you posted anything else because you haven't been posting. So just push play. Post picture, post words, push play. The one thing I would ask you to add is please share. Please share. But they're simple little things. Thursdays are this and that. And this Thursday is probably going to, as we get closer to probably wait one more week. As we get closer, I'm gonna place my bet. Did you see the Derby on Saturday? The horse
Nope.
named Rich Strike, 80-1. 80-1. Rich Strike won the Derby. Unbelievable. I'm placing my bet for the Thursday closest to Labor Day. I'm guessing Thursday's this or that will be burgers or dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Are you a burgers or dogs? And
Yep.
most buoyant gentlemen like myself will say yes. Yes to both.
All of the above.
I will
D.
take a Frankfurter and a hamburger. Yes. Anyway, and that, maybe we'll have to unveil. You know what we'll do? We'll have to unveil the recipe for the Frankennutter, which nobody wants. Have we had that conversation?
I feel like we have, and
Yeah.
I'm really, I don't know about this one.
It's a
It's
Cape
a
Cod
little
tradition.
early.
It's a Cape Cod tradition with me and the boys. It is it's very important, because this makes it more disgusting. You have to, if you have the means, you have to nuclear the hot dog. That's very important.
Oh,
There's no need to put it on the grill. Yeah, this is we came up from the beach. We want something quick. We're heading back to the beach. Yeah, I'm not firing up the grill. Yeah.
Truly like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not grill dadding at nooner at the Cape. Now, come up, nuclear the dogs, throw them in the buns, and then you cover them with peanut butter and fluff. It's a Frankennutter. It's life-changing. In a myriad of ways for different people, but
I
it's
don't know what
life-changing.
to say. Yeah, I
it's
don't
good
know. I
stuff.
don't even. Yeah,
It's good time.
Yeah.
Good time.
And here's the thing: it's partially because I know for a fact that my dear husband would be all over that.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, like I'm always, and I guess I do have some friends that are choosy, and I don't just say this as a buoyant being. I'm always amazed when people are just, and it's a more prevalent question now when you go out to eat or if you're going to be flying or whatever, and you start to pick your menu. Any allergies? I'm always just any allergies or whatever, and I'm just like, nope, it's good. Like, just put it in front of me. I'll work through it. We'll figure it out. It's going to be fine. Yeah. When I was a kid, what was the thing that you didn't eat as a kid that you eat now? Talk to me.
The thing that tomatoes. It was I would not even look at a tomato, and now they're great. They're tomatoes. They're a great vegetable. But really, as a kid, I was like, no way, no way.
Tomatoes.
No tomatoes.
Interesting. All right. Yeah,
Nope.
Janina's anti-lettuce, but she's pro-tomato, but no lettuce.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever.
Listen, you married her. Oh, that's right. I did. Yeah. Very confusing. All right. So we're in the book.
So somebody mentioned beach pizza. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that's pizza with some sand on top.
No, how dare you?
Boy.
I
Boy.
guarantee that is Doyle. I shouldn't guarantee it's Doyle, but I'm guaranteeing it's Doyle. And if Doyle's talking about beach pizza, she's talking about there is a line in the sand, pun intended, that people are concerned about whether you are a Christie's girl or a Tripoli girl.
Oh, okay.
There's two different versions. It's typically Neapolitan style, so it's that square version of pizza. When you go and you're ordering, people either want the middles, they want the sides, they want corners. You can order a box of it. Super basic. Sauce heavy, a little bit of cheese. I think Tripoli throws their cheese on after. You can get it grated, like the whole 9 yards. And that's beach pizza. Then there's another bubble within the market center that has another thing that we call beach pizza, but we're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
Yep. There's a whole nother thing. But beach
Just
pizza
the
does
whole
not have
world
sand on it. It is grab and go, super delicious, Christie's or Tripoli. I think if you ask most people, they would probably say Christie's.
Well,
And if you asked me, I'd say I need a slice of each so I can redetermine my passion.
I really need
Yes,
both.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
time I need to do a taste test.
Yeah, I think so much has changed since COVID. Yeah, maybe my taste buds have broken.
Who knows if they
Yep.
changed their sauce?
I have no idea. So, in talking about growing your database, what do we know? We know that most of us don't have our database where it should be, said with love. If anybody is in the chat and they absolutely want to share their number, here's some things that we want to share with you guys. Just some math you should scribble down so you have an idea of what you're sitting on. I think we were in class last week, Zoe, and Sandy with
Yep.
with a rather humble number that she had for leads that she felt that she was starting with. Still had a six figures, nearing six. She was just shy. She was $90,000 after paying taxes.
Yep.
So if you
Okay,
guys
we got
have
a 470 in the chat here. That's pretty good.
somebody's got a 470, let's run the
Yep.
math. I'm going to run the math for them.
Great.
Let's see. So if we're at 470, and here's what we're talking about, and everybody grab your number at home. So I want you to either take, if you've got a really robust number that's in your command, take that number.
And by the way, that's right. This is in your command, not in your phone.
Yeah, correct.
Not in your phone.
Here's the thing. If you're asking to yourself, what is this command they speak of? You're going to agent.kw.com. You're logging in and you're getting started. The reason it's important that these people are in command is so you can stay in touch with them in a permission-based conversation and have a business relationship with them. This is not your Tinder, okay? So you want to move everybody from elsewhere. So whether they're in MySpace, Facebook, your phone, a Rolodex, an Excel spreadsheet, which, quite honestly, if you want to start to move people, if you've got a bunch of people in an Excel spreadsheet, all we need to do is make sure that it's set up properly to migrate in. And then you
really,
can...
the Excel spreadsheet is like the gateway drug to the database, which is,
So
if you're there, that's not a bad thing, but we just need to go one step further.
If you have your Excel spreadsheet, just keep adding people that aren't there to there. So let's start with this 470. All right, so if somebody had 470, here's the math that I would like you to run. 470 people in your database. So we take that first 470, and you're going to multiply whatever your number is by 0.06. So that person that has 470 in their database, that's 28. And why is that number important? So nationally, we know that the humans on planet America in the next 365 days, 6% of them will be transactional. 6% of them will be transactional. So anybody in the country can take that 6% and correlate it to their life, to their numbers, to their phone, to their database. So I'll play the part of the wily veteran. That's bullshittery, Tim, because I was alive last year and that didn't happen to me. I appreciate that, Stacy. Did you invite all your friends to be in business with you? Did you invite your face to the party? Because if you have that many people in your life, we know mathematically on average 6% of them will be transactional. Were you engaged with all your people? And most of us can say a resounding no, right? You weren't engaged with all of your people, the totality of your humans. So there are 28 deals for the person who had 470. There are 28 deals that are going to happen in the next 12 months. And the beauty of that is it's either going to be people that you know or people that you know connected to them, right? So the people in your life are going to be transactional, or people close to them will be transactional, and they will send them to you. So if you take that 28 now, this is with just 470, by the way, right? So take the 28 and multiply, and now we're going to figure out the other piece of math that's more important. 410 is our running average. Actually, I've heard from a little birdie that our number's gone up, but we're sticking with the 410. We're going to
stick with 410.
We're going to stay humble. We might move it to 422 for obvious reasons, but we're not going to. We're sticking with the 410 because we've been at 410 for quite a bit. Now, 410 is the average volume of all of our sales. Because you're thinking, wow, we do a lot of $1 million business, though. We have a lot of great agents that do a lot of stuff. Well, we also have people that are absolutely crushing $99,000, homes and parks.
Yep.
And it's all good. All the at-bats matter. This is what makes our company so great, right? So 410 is our average. So now you take the 410 and you multiply that by what we've experienced historically in the last 3 years, even more so as our average commission side. So it's 410,000 times 0.025. So 2.5%. Now you've got 24. I did that math way wrong. I'm so sorry. Hang on. I just screwed the math up. It's 0.025, right? Why am I getting this wrong?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I don't know what I just did with the math. I think I hit the times twice. I apologize, guys. 410 times 0.025 or 2.5% gets you 10,250. So 10,250. So whoever had 470 in the chat, and I don't have any names there. Can you put the math equation in the chat? We can put the math equation in the chat.
Just a minute.
28 times 10,250 is $287,000. So there's $287,000 in GCI, right? Everybody with me on that? 28 times 10, 250. So you take the 287, and now we want to do 287, and we're going to clear out our company dollar and our international royalty. So with that, I'm going to go 287 minus the 23,000. So now we're at 264, right? Now 264, here comes the fun part. Because what's next? 264 times 0.66, because that's what you'll have left after taxes. 174. So there's 174 after taxes. Now there's expenses. This is 174 going home to you, because we cleared the deck on paying your company dollar cap and your international royalty fee, and then we did your taxes at 33%, give or take. Everyone's number is going to be different, but on average, 1/3 of your money is going to go to Washington. So you paid Kaylee, you paid Gary, you paid Washington. That's 174 for our friend who has 470 in the book. Now, what does this mean, though? 470 means that you're staying in touch with these people. 470 means that you are beyond the shadow of a doubt connected with all of them. They know you've had conversations. What do we have to do invariably? We have to make sure that we tell everyone in our life 7 times that we're in real estate before they forget. So that's a high level of connectivity with those people at 470. Getting that number a little bit higher, we know is a absolute. You can crush your business and do a lot of business because of the 12-2 ratio. We're going to talk today. We talked last week about working with your Mets and your unmets. Why it's so important to focus on your Mets. Meeting your unmets or meeting new people that you don't know through your Mets is more powerful than sending a check to an aggregator. I'll say that again. Meeting people that you don't know through people that you do know is more advantageous. The ball will move faster down the field, and it's less expensive than sending a check to an aggregator. Zoe and I are not here to tell you how to run your business. We're here to offer best practices. If you send a check to an aggregator, you're typically looking for names and numbers and addresses, names and numbers really, of people that already live in your area. You're running the risk of having one of your friends' names sent to you for a price, as opposed to, I do not know, I'm making up names now. I'm going to use Chloe, just because Zoe will think that's funny. Zoe's best friend, Chloe. I don't know Chloe, but if I'm still in production and Zoe's out of production, Zoe's going to send me to Chloe's kitchen table. So do I know Chloe? Nope. Am I already edified in the conversation because Zoe's like, you should work with Tim. He's awesome. She probably didn't say that. But anyway, and when I get there, this is somebody I've never met who I know is transactional, and I've already been edified in the conversation. They already want to work with me because one of their best people, Zoe, said you should work with Tim because he's one of my best people. That's how you build your unmets to Mets conversation faster. So the limiting belief, I don't want to pick up the phone and talk to people I know and love and trust him because I don't want to be salesy. Well, then, the banner's still in Newington and Rochester. Go to Kohl's and fold T-shirts. Otherwise, let's start talking to our people. And we talked about this on Friday. Somebody called me. They're like, you got emotional. I'm like, I always get emotional. I got emotional about it on Friday. If you don't understand that you chose this and that we get to do this, you don't have to do this. Every one of you that is an independent contractor that's an agent, unless you actually have an appointment on the books today, guess what you can do? Whatever you want today. You chose to do real estate. And we talked about Friday how we're honored to get to do this. You guys make an inordinate amount of money if you choose to. And you get paid in direct correlation with the amount of people that you help. And your average commission check, every person that you help on average is $10,000 GCI. And with somebody with 400, and I know people have that have numbers in their databases that dwarf the 470. No judgment on our 470. I'm happy you reported 470 because I know that person's also going to grow it. With 470 people in your database, there's $174,000 after Washington. It's a lot of work, Tim. No.
It is.
It's a lot of work. It's absolutely a lot of work. And it's buckets of fun when you get going. Because that feeling you have at the closing table when people are getting checks and keys and kisses and hugs, irreplaceable, right? I want to do that again. Cool. Guess what? You're allowed to. And we get to. So lean into this. Please lean into your numbers. If you're looking in your Command or whatever database you use, Zoe and I are always going to say Command. Why? Because you already have it. Anybody who's at Keller has Command. If you don't have a database, you have Command. If your team or you are investing in another database, then use that database. Use a database.
And let's just go over one more time, answer this hugely common question. Why is my contacts list on my phone not a database? It's because as amazing as Excel is, Excel does not communicate with people for you while you're asleep or at the beach, surfing. I don't know. Whatever you do.
Making frankennutters.
Making frankennutters at the beach.
Right.
Excel is not emailing people, texting people, communicating with your people on a schedule that you set with words that you say for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a database does. It is so much different from, oh, but I don't want to make this person a number in a cell. They're not. They're a person that you know. And if you want to say, hey, Larry, want to get a drink tonight? You can make your database say that.
Right.
You don't have to say, Tim's, or we've all heard it, what do I have to do to get you in this today? Right? Don't say that. You don't want to say it? Don't say it. Please don't say it. Please don't say that. Say, how are you? Thinking of you. How are you doing? How's the family?
Yep. Because when somebody does tell their friend, like, hey, where did you find your realtor? I read about him, right? And don't get me wrong, that's a possibility. They're going to immediately talk about how this other individual who is the realtor made them feel. The irrational loyalty that we talk about with the Ritz-Carlton conversation. The creating an experience, not a transaction, right? And I don't want my former clients, I don't want my clients, we should never call them former clients, they're always clients if we stay in touch. I don't want my clients, in trying to explain my value to them, to be looking for actual physical receipts. I want them to be able to explain it with words and to be able to emotionalize it, right? If they can start to tell a story of their experience, and the person hearing the story is seeing smiles and seeing emotion, as opposed to, so here's the bullet points of what he says he does. I mean, it's really exciting. Yeah, it's breathtaking. You should take part in this. Like, that's, cool. You just gave me a list of why I should sign up for the cruise. You going on another cruise? Oh, no, we got Hep C on the cruise. Like, you left that out, right? But if you ask somebody, how was their vacation? They're going to start to tell you. And if you're out to coffee with her, she's going to start to show you pictures. She's going to help recreate the experience for you. Are you creating an experience for your clients to help them tell your story so they can recreate it for the next person? Why should I work with Zoe? I can't explain it. You got to call her. She's amazing, right? And they're not going to. You'll always hear us say, it's how she made me feel. Yeah. The humans aren't going to say that in the wild, because they're not going to know that's what they want to say, and that's what we're wanting to make them say. They are going to say, you can't explain it. She's awesome. There's no words. You'll hear people say that. There's no words.
There's no words.
Outstanding, top to bottom. I don't
even know how she just helped so much.
Yep.
And how do we make people feel that, so that that's what they say, is to make our clients feel heard and cared for at all times, even when they're not transactional with us.
Right.
And that's what a database does for us, is help us to help our clients who are not currently transactional feel that they are heard and cared for, even if we're not in transactional communication with them right now.
Because if you're thinking, I only want people to not only, hate that word. We know how much I hate that word used in this context. I hope they think of me when they're transactional. It's not going to happen. we need to make sure that they know that we're thinking of them 2 weeks after they sold their house, a month after they sold their house, right?
Tim, we're
It's 9:00.
talking
We got to go. We absolutely
gotta go. We gotta go talk more on
Yeah,
in the
yeah. If you want to watch us keep talking, join us for Ignite. We'll see you guys on timsoffice.com at 9:00. You're going to Keller TV at 10:00 for Attorney Jeff Stellman with Alice Kabaki about Massachusetts, the laws, the ins, the outs. If you're joining us in Portsmouth for the Shark Tank, that is Ignite. That starts now. Have a great day. We'll